Starting the stream. Dun, dun, dun. Music that we don't have. Okay. Intro music that we don't have.
Doctor Strange, master of the mystic arts, where boundaries decay.
And
Are we
Silsey
starting?
should have her notes up. We're already started.
Okay.
Once I pull my notes up. And then I have to open my YouTube app to be the one person watching my video. Okay, so Doctor Strange number 4, 1974, Where Boundaries Decay. The one before the finale. So should we read the next one? Because it's the...
I was actually thinking about it. I was like, we really have to read number 5 because so we can finish the arc. The story arc needs to be done, but so we'll do that next time, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll do one more Doctor Strange after this since it's left us with the cliffhanger. So this one opens up with like a bunch of words at the top, and it tricked me into thinking that this was going to be another like backstory one and that we would get the origin story of Doctor Strange, and then we didn't. Instead, we got a backstory of the review of the current story we've already read so far. So
Yep.
they teased me. I was like, oh, we're going to find out. Because he was a worldly man seduced and some jaded by material things. I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's hear his origin story. And then they're like, nope, forget it. I don't know if we got it in any of the other ones, but the Pegasus horse's name is Aragorn?
Yeah. The horse's name is Aragorn.
Yeah. Is Aragorn like a historical name or?
Sounds to me like it came from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I think it came from Lord of the Rings.
Doctor Strange is in the Orb of Agamotto in Unreality, and he goes into the domain of dying, where souls or ideas or concepts can never die.
Right.
I wasn't quite clear who the people in there were, because the one guy said that he was Famine.
Right.
But then it didn't introduce any of the other guys. So.
Right.
Okay. It actually reminded me a lot of a book I read called Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. And it's a good book, but it had to do with like people that couldn't die and who could only who like lived through like their pain and suffering and stuff like that. So anyways, Doctor Strange is there, but he's able to leave the domain, and everyone left behind is really pissed about it because they can't die.
They just want to die and go on to the next thing.
And he falls into the void, and that kills his horse, which I was upset about. And he confronts Death, who tries to kill him with antimatter type stuff. It's not really clear about what exists in the void. It's something that if it touches him can kill him.
Yeah, I didn't get that the horse died either, so.
Oh yeah, it's a skeleton. The horse.
Oh right, it's a skeleton.
Yeah, it died because that's what it used to be like. Oh, the stuff in this void is dangerous and will kill me because it killed his horse.
But he's still riding on it.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange, Death is like, I'm gonna come for you, and Doctor Strange finds a hole in the void that is eternity, and that we're supposed to remember from some of the Mystic Master's greatest tales. Thanks a lot. We didn't read that, so we don't remember that.
Right.
I just love how they put like a little footnote underneath eternity, like you should know who this is.
Remember from some of the Mystic Master's greatest tales.
Like, nope, I don't remember. Didn't read that. Sorry. So Death tempts him out of eternity by saying he needs to save Clea, but he knows if he leaves his safety hole, he will die and not be able to save her anyway. So Death squishes eternity, trying to get Strange out. Strange realizes death is not evil, only a part of life to be experienced, and so accepts his impending death. But as he dies, he is transported to another dimension, realm, I don't know, somewhere else. And he meets up with the Ancient One, who informs him he did die, but he will be returned to his realm as an immortal since he faced death and was not afraid. So, Strange gets an
It's very existential.
On his forehead. I don't know if that, like, Ankh is gonna... Is that how you say it, Ankh?
Yeah, it's a Ankh. I thought it was Anka.
I don't know.
It's Ankh.
I might be saying it wrong. I don't know if, like, that's on his forehead forever, or if it's, like, more like a, you know, mystical thing that's not there. Or
yeah, I'm thinking it's a mystical thing.
So, I thought it was good. Like, I was actually interested in the story. I feel like the other comics, I'm not actually interested in the story, but I'm like, oh yeah, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, it's like, oh, so the showdown with the silver. We got to read that one. We got to read the grand finale.
Yeah.
I thought this one was kind of like, I kind of didn't really know what was going on. It was kind of very cerebral, maybe is the word I want to use.
See, I felt this one was more not confusing as the other ones, that he kept discussing, like, unreality and I don't know. It was very confusing. And he kept just, like, chilling out in the middle of fight scenes, saying he had to, like, center himself and stuff. That I felt like that stuff was more confusing. Like, what are you doing? There's, like, a giant worm thing. Maybe you shouldn't just, like, meditate.
Chill out.
Yeah, maybe you should run or something. I don't know. So, I don't know. I've liked Doctor Strange better than anything else we've read so far.
Yeah. It just, some of it has just been like, okay, this is a little bit,
it's definitely a drug trip. Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And if we were on drugs, we could probably understand it a lot better.
It's got a very Buddhist transcendental meditation type feel to it. So
yeah, I mean, he did like a whole paragraph about death and life and experiences in the middle of the
that's no, don't be afraid of death anymore. And like the whole point of this whole episode seems to be don't fear death.
Yeah. And well, I guess not fearing death granted him immortality, which
right
is a little confusing. I feel like that's a cop out. Like, so you don't fear death, but then you didn't really. I mean, you haven't faced it, and you won't now that you're immortal. So
right.
I don't know. I did like the skeleton horse, though. I mean, that was cool looking.
Yeah. It's also felt kind of a little bit of Deus Ex Machina, God in the Machine, for the end. So, like, the very end where, oh, you died, but I'm going to bring you back to life. So, like, he got saved by the Ancient One or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole thing was just a test for him to become on his way to becoming the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yep.
I feel like he should be a dish in Taco Bell.
He comes with tomatoes.
Can we have extra salsa with that?
Yeah. I feel like they teased us with the Eternity character, and like I want to know what character that is now. So I felt like that was a good introduction. I don't know, maybe I'd like this one better because it's not about like fighting. Like he's fighting mentally, not physically. He's not like punching stuff, and maybe that's why I like it more than the other ones.
It's not like Hulk smash.
Yeah. Like with it. I mean, because they've placed it in unreality, there's not really any plot holes. Like, everything's so ridiculous that you're just like, yep, I guess so. That's how it goes.
The way it goes. It's unreal. I can't read with these glasses on.
Which maybe that's the way Marvel needed to go, because otherwise they can't seem to, so far, write any kind of cohesive storylines.
That make any kind of sense?
Yeah, that we've read so far. Which isn't a lot, but like maybe they got better over time.
Yeah, this one actually does kind of all of it makes sense, even though I have a little trouble following it. But it makes sense that I mean, overall the story is that he has to let go of his fear of death in order to overcome death.
Yeah.
So, it's like, okay, I get it now. Makes sense.
All right, so anything else about Doctor Strange, or are we going to move on to Loki?
Yeah, we gotta read the episode 5 next week, so we can figure out
Doctor Strange issue number 5 to see the ending and what happens with Silver Dagger and Clea.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So.
And now he's immortal. So.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, warning: spoilers for the final episode of Loki, and spoilers for the whole show of Loki.
The last 2 episodes, because we didn't talk about the...
Didn't we talk about 5? I thought we talked about 4 and 5 last week, because that's what I put in my summary, but maybe we didn't.
No, because I hadn't watched...
You hadn't watched 5 yet?
I had not watched 5 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So then 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
So 5, where did that start? It was
hang on a minute. 5 is the one where he meets all the different Lokis.
Okay, good.
Yeah. He lands on I don't know where it is, at the end of time, and he meets all the different Loki.
Yes.
And they go back to his headquarters, and...
Did you love Loki Gator like the rest of the world?
Oh, yes. The Loki Gator was absolutely wonderful.
Yes. It's so cute. This one channel, they made like a polo shirt with a little alligator with little Loki horns on it. I was like, oh, if I wore polo shirts, I would get that. It's so cute.
Like Ralph, not Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
Izod?
Yeah.
Yeah, like an Izod shirt?
Yep.
Excellent.
It's adorable, but I don't wear polos, so.
What?
Yeah.
You don't wear polos.
They're no, yuck. I wear t-shirts. That's what I wear. So there was Gator Loki, there was Kid Loki, who I liked. I like Kid Loki because I think they plan on making a Young Avengers, so Kid Loki might be in that.
Right.
Classic Loki was an old guy that everybody knows who I don't know. I guess he's a really famous actor. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was either.
And Boastful Loki, like, barely had any screen time. So, but I guess Boastful Loki's supposed to be like a Thor variant of Loki, because he had like Thor's hammer. But my favorite variant Loki is Vote for Loki, because he's wearing a vest. He looks good in a vest.
That's the one with the green, and he has like little horns on his head, kind of thing.
Yeah, the Vote for Loki had the Vote for Loki. He got his hand bitten off by Gator Loki. That was hilarious. So this one, it was okay. I liked all the Loki part. I didn't really like the fighting Goliath part of it.
Yeah, that was kind of like
they had to hold hands.
Right, and she was going to enchant a big cloud.
Yeah, that one was a little...
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it seemed forced to me. That was not the way to go.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, I'm going to enchant it. I'm going to enchant a big cloud.
Yeah. And, like, the front of, like, the whole... So, when the cloud... Because they've shown it previously. Like, when the cloud hits, it, like, destroys or kills everything. And so, like, they're like, oh, we're going to go around to the side of the cloud. Like, we're not going to get hurt here on the side of the cloud. And you're gonna distract a cloud.
Yeah, that was like,
I was a little confused. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really strange.
But everyone was really excited because Goliath, I guess, looks like he actually looks in comic books. So, yeah, it was weird. I'm trying to think.
So this came from the comic books?
Yeah. So Goliath is that cloud dog thing. I mean, he's pretty much exactly what he looks like, and he's like a time, what do you call it? A nexus being, so he can like affect timelines or jump timelines or something. So I guess him and which this was a clue, since we were talking about both episodes 5 and 6. Technically this isn't a spoiler, but if you haven't watched 6, it's a big spoiler. He's like an enemy of Kang, so him and Kang fight all the time over, how time goes or rolling time or whatever. So like that was a big hint that the guy at the end of time was going to be Kang. That Goliath was there guarding him. So, yeah. So that puts us into episode 6. Kang. Kang is the big bad guy, which nobody thought they'd put Kang in, but they did. So. And I didn't know who the actor was. Like, I hadn't been paying close attention. So, like, when the elevator opened, I was like, is that Kang? Is that Kang? But, yeah. So I thought the last episode was pretty good. And it was like interesting. There was a lot of talking, but it was like good talking. It was like I was interested in what he was saying and how he was explaining how he got to the end of time. So
yeah, I can't remember what he said. How did he get to the end of time?
So what he said, so this is also comic book accurate, is that he was born in the 31st century, and he is, I don't think they mentioned this, but in the comics he is born in the 31st century, and I think his name's Nathaniel Richards, and he's the son of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's like a super smart guy. He figured out that there were multiverses, and then he invented, which they showed in the little like thing he made off to the side, that he invented like the time doors and the rods and stuff and the time bombs. So he met up with other variants of himself, and they're all full of themselves. They take after their father, who named himself Mr. Fantastic, which I still have a problem with. So, every variant thought they were the best variant. And so all of the Kang variants started the multiverse war. And so this Kang variant came out on top and destroyed all the other ones, and that's why he wasn't allowing any other multiverses to form, is so that no other Kangs came into existence that would then start the war again. So technically he's saying he's the good guy because he's protecting all of, everybody from himself, from other versions of himself. Although he's doing that by killing a whole lot of people. So...
Oh, right. It's like, right, okay.
You're like protecting one group of people to the detriment of every other single living being in other timelines. I don't think that balances out. And that's if he's completely telling the truth about all of that, which we don't know. So obviously Sylvie either didn't believe him or didn't think he was good because she stabbed him.
She killed him.
What do you think of Loki and Sylvie's fight scene? I thought it once again was a little forced. Like,
yeah,
just that because Loki was taking swings at her, and I feel like in that situation he'd always be on the defensive.
I kind of got tired of the Loki and Sylvie fighting stuff.
Yeah,
it was like, you guys got to stop doing this. It's just it's getting old.
Yeah. I wasn't tired of it. I just felt like it wasn't real for the characters. Like he wouldn't take any swings at her. He's like trying to get her to stop. And you don't get somebody to stop by stabbing them, or I mean you do, but it's permanent, and that's not what he was going for.
Yeah, like what are you doing here?
Yeah. So that was weird. And then she pushed him through a time door into a TVA that's not his TVA. That Mobius didn't know him.
Right. Mobius didn't know him.
Yeah.
So is this an alternate timeline that he went into?
That's the question. So a lot of people are debating like that. I guess maybe Tony Stark in another movie said that time doesn't work like Back to the Future. That like if you go back into your timeline, it's not changed. It would just be another timeline. But I feel like it could work like that, because what they've done is set all the Kangs loose. So technically the Kangs can jump like any timeline, any multiverse. So I feel like they could change the same timeline that they were in. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I was really sad that we didn't get more Mobius at the end. I wanted more Mobius stuff. Like I wanted his story to be more in the last episode.
Yeah, and Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer. So we got to see where FDR Pen came from. She's the principal at FDR.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So also in the comic books, Renslayer is Kang's love interest. So that was another clue that the person at the end of time was going to be Kang.
Oh. We needed to read the comic books.
Yeah. Or just listen to people who have read the comic books and hear what they think. So, yeah, where do you think Renslayer went off to? She said she was going to go find free will.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think...
Is that a person, free will?
I don't think so, because earlier she said free will doesn't exist except for the person in charge. And so for me, I think if she said she wanted to go find free will, that means she's going to go kill Kang. Because you'd have to kill the person in charge and take over if you wanted free will then, by her logic. So that's what I think. But of course there's like a million Kangs, so
good luck finding him.
Yeah,
finding the correct one.
Yeah. And also, so Kang was never called Kang. He was called He Who Remains. And that in the, I guess that in the comic books is He Who Remains is usually the writer of the comic. So like when it's referenced, it's usually the author of the comic or Stan Lee or something. So like that's the person at the end of the time, the person who created it all. But they took that title and put it on Kang. This variant of Kang. Overall, I was happy with the series. I liked it.
Yeah, I have to watch the last...
I was going to watch them all again, all together, and see what I thought the second time through. Like, watching them, like, continuously.
Like, just stream 1 to 2 to 3 or
yeah.
To all 6.
Yeah. I mean, maybe take bathroom breaks and stuff, but to watch them all together and see if it looks more cohesive or not now that I know it's coming. I just feel like the Loki and Sylvie story was forced, and I feel like it could have been done a lot better. I don't know how, and I'm judging people who spend their lives making movies and scripts, but I feel like it could have been better.
They don't always get it right.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think the biggest thing is that we should have got Sylvie time just by herself as a character before she met up with Loki. I think defining her as her own character and giving her a personality before she meets up with Loki, I think that would have helped a lot with the relationship. But I don't know anything. I don't have like a degree in screenwriting or anything like that.
Well, you know what you like, and
yeah, I have a degree in watching TV. Lots and lots of TV.
Knowing what you like.
Knowing what I like. Yes, I have a degree in knowing what I like.
And knowing what doesn't confuse you.
And then we get at the end that there's a season 2, which we already knew about, which starts filming in January 2022, that I will be keeping an eye on in case they have any open casting calls, because it's just in Georgia. We can just drive right up there. It's not far.
Do they need extras?
Exactly.
Let's go. Wait, no. Hogtown's in January.
Well, that's when they start filming. They film for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. We can drive up there for a day. Come back.
Let's go be extras.
Yes. Let's be extras in Loki season 2. So, yeah.
They're not filming any of it down here in Florida?
I don't think so. I don't even think they probably film anything of it offset. Like, they don't do any, like, on location filming, because I'm pretty sure that's probably the only way you could get to be an extra, is if they were doing like filming in the streets or something like that.
No, they hire extras.
Yeah,
they want them to look a certain
yeah
way.
I was thinking getting hired as like a crowd extra, like there's a whole crowd and just stand there. Be like, I was in it. So now we have until August 11th. Are you going to watch What If? The next show, Disney Plus show that's coming out?
No. What's What If?
What If is a cartoon Marvel Cinematic Universe show. And it's what if things were different. So it's like, what if the Avengers were zombies? And what if Black Panther is the Star-Lord, and what if Captain America is really Captain Carter, who's like the British Captain America. So it's like different. It's pretty much like an introduction to the multiverse. So this is like things that are happening in other universes that are like slightly different from the one that we know.
Multiverses.
So many like that's gonna be all the upcoming movies are gonna have to do with the multiverse. And we better get Tobey Maguire in the Spider-Man movie. That's all I'm saying. He's my favorite Spider-Man. So yeah, August 11th, What If comes out, and I'll be watching that too. So if you want to do a review on those two, we can do that. That one's a cartoon one.
Okay. So is Miss Minutes, is she a real character person?
Yes, maybe. It seems like she is, because she can't be in more than one place at once. So in that final one, she was tempting Loki and Sylvie with a deal, and then she like went to Renslayer. She's like, oh, sorry, I'm running late or something like that. Like she was, moving quickly. So like that would mean she can be only one place at one time. And when Loki asked if she was a recording or something live, she said a little bit of both. So, and also the actress that plays her voice says she's got a deeper like character arc. So I imagine she's going to show up in Loki season 2. So there's probably something going on with her. Did she scare you when she popped up? In front of them? No.
They're like, oh, what's she doing here?
Yeah, I was like, oh no, she's at the end of time. Like she's the one controlling all of it. I was like, that's kind of a letdown. And then it's like, oh no, never mind, she's not. I just take away from all of it pretty much Gator Loki. He's adorable, and he needs his own spin-off series.
I need him on a t-shirt.
Yes. Yep. I saw a post on Reddit that like somebody's like, I got my Halloween costume done, and it was an Amazon order of an alligator costume and Loki horns. I was like, perfect. That's the perfect costume. All right, so next week we'll do Doctor Strange episode 5 and no Disney Plus show to review. So sad.
No.
Maybe Black Widow when it becomes available for not $30 extra.
God, what's up with that, man?
Oh, it's so stupid. All right, and we are
so
not